I have to say that one of the most satisfying feelings that I ever have is when I make healthy food for my kids and actually watching them eat it and enjoy it. Honestly, every time it happens, I feel like a complete boss. So today I'm gonna show you guys how to make my girls' all-time favorite meal. The good thing is it's actually packed full of nutrients along with proteins and healthy fats. Plus, it seriously tastes delicious. My husband and I really like to eat it as well, so it's good for the whole family and it's really simple to make. So let's make butternut squash mac and cheese. So the first thing that we're going to do is to cut our butternut squash. Butternut squash is really hard and can be like kind of difficult to cut through. So to make this a little bit easier, we're going to pop it in the microwave just for about 15 seconds and it just gets the skin to be a little bit softer and helps it to be easier to cut through. So to get started, we're just going to cut off the top part where the stem is. Okay, I have a really dull knife. I need to just become braver and just get sharper knives. I don't know why I'm like still kind of scared, so I just use dull ones. And then I place it with the flat side down and cut it down the center. You want to make sure that the bottom is always on a flat surface so it doesn't roll around when you're cutting it. Okay, so now we have our two halves and we're just going to scoop out the inner part that had the seeds in them. I should probably save the seeds from inside the butternut squash, but I never do. I throw them away. I need some good ideas on what to do with them. I guess I could roast them. So a few benefits of butternut squash is it's high in vitamin A and vitamin C. It's also high in fiber. So it has like a lot of also good antioxidants in it. Obviously, whenever I serve this to my girls, just like as little chunks, they don't tend to eat it, but whenever it's mixed in the sauce, they definitely do. So now we are going to bake these bad boys. I like baking butternut squash because the skin can be kind of hard to cut off. So the easiest way is just to cut it in half and then roast it like this, because then it gets really soft on the inside and you just scoop it out and it's super easy. So I'm just going to drizzle these with some olive oil and then sprinkle them both with salt. And I'm just going to place these face down. So we're going to bake these for about 40 minutes. It really depends on the size of your butternut squash, but you just want to make sure that whenever it comes out of the oven, that is really easy to prick with a fork. That way you know that it's going to be really easy to scoop out. I really like how this recipe has some hands-free time as the preparation. This is just going to bake. It does take like about 40 minutes, but during that 40 minutes, I can be doing other things. I don't have to be standing over the stove. And usually during that time, I will be cleaning the kitchen because I feel like that's all I ever do is clean the kitchen. Can anyone feel me on this? It just like never ends the work and cleaning around the house. Anyways, now we're going to go ahead and prepare all of our ingredients to throw in the blender. Starting off with cashews. Cashews is going to be the key to creaminess in this sauce. Cashews are full of protein and healthy fats. They really give a nice creaminess to all kinds of sauces. And to make sure that they blend up really well in the blender, we're just going to soak them in hot water for at least 5 minutes. It's better if you do it for about 15 minutes. So now we have our butternut squash out of the oven. It is super, super fork tender and it's gonna be really easy to scoop out. So I'm just gonna take a spoon and start scooping out all the flesh. Now I'm just going to dump this directly into the blender. Bloop. Now we're going to add the other ingredients to the blender. We are going to add our cashews, which have been soaking. I'm just gonna give these a quick rinse and drain. I think it should actually be drain and rinse, but we're just gonna add these to the blender. Now we're going to add our nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is a natural kind of yeast. It just naturally tastes, kind of has a cheesy flavor, and it is really high in protein with 8 grams per serving. So it's really great to add to all kinds of dishes. So we're going to add 1 cup of this. Whoops. Now we're just going to add some plant-based milk. I like adding soy milk because it is high in protein. That's why it's really my go-to plant-based milk, but you can really use any one that you prefer. I do recommend that it is unsweetened though. Now we're going to add 2 ingredients that give the sauce a little bit of a tang. That is lemon juice and mustard. And I'm also going to add some salt along with a couple of spices. Here I'm just going to add some onion powder and garlic powder. All right, let's let her rip. Okay, let's give it a taste. That's good. I think I'm gonna add the other half of the lemon. It's good to just taste and add things as you go because every butternut squash is gonna be a different size, and that means different quantities for the rest of the ingredients. Actually, I'm gonna do a little bit more plant-based milk because keep in mind that it's going to thicken whenever it's with the pasta, so you want it to be just a little bit more liquidy than you would like it to be whenever it's mixed with the pasta. But just a splash. Okay, so now we're gonna put it all together with the pasta. You can use whatever kind of pasta that you prefer. I found these like cool shells and I decided to use those. I also really like using for my girls like the animal pasta and the ones that are like in airplane shapes. That always goes over really well. Now, keep in mind, this made a lot of sauce. Usually what I do is I have it for one meal and then whatever I have left over, I just freeze in jars just to keep in the freezer and to pull out whenever I need to make a quick meal. It is always so convenient just to have jars of their favorite pasta sauce in the freezer. That way I know whenever I really want them to eat and to eat something good, I have it there on hand. And as far as quantities, if you're using a whole pack of pasta, that usually uses about half of what I make. And then you can always add more if it needs more. All right, now gotta give it a taste. Let's see. Honestly, it's just really good. It doesn't really necessarily need to be a kid's recipe. Like, this is something that I would eat even if I didn't have kids. It just happens to be something that's really healthy that kids love. So I really think you should try it. And now I want to know what your kids like to eat. Do you have any recipe suggestions that your kids love? Please let me know in the comments. I love hearing new ideas of recipes that kids like to eat, and I feel like we could all use as much help as we can get when it comes to getting our kids to eat healthy food. Thank you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.